Well, hello, and welcome. This is Julie with the Jewel Design, and hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Whether it is Saturday morning and you're coming along and crafting with me, or whether you're just taking a break or time out from whatever fun you're doing, and you're just getting a little crafting into your schedule, getting a little crafting inspiration. So today we are back with the Dreamer's Traveler's Notebook, and I just have a few more fun elements that we want to add to this journal that I want to share with you before I do the nitty gritty of adding like washi tape and clusters of lace and just things that are like, okay, we need to finish up, right? But I did go through all my pages and decide where I want to put fussy cuts in places. On these fold out pages, how I wanted to use the fussy cuts as sort of decor in corners of those pages. So you have a little something on some of these. There'll be washi strips here, lace here, so on and so forth. We did this last week, or not last week, earlier this week, where we made the zigzag belly band pocket, right? So we have a belly band here, and we have to do some work to them, but two tags that fit right inside these guys, right? Now, you can untie it, pull the tags out, open it up, and you have this beautiful semi-triangle thing that is all writable because it has the same colored background as this. So you can see that video from Wednesday, I believe. Or was it Thursday? I don't know. I lost track of time. I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, I think. I don't know. Ugh, I can't believe for me, we're on another weekend, not done and gone, but another weekend. And really, it's the last weekend actually of June. So, oh my gosh. Okay. So anyway, we are, like I said, working along. I've got down to the nitty gritty of doing fun little things, which you will see at the reveal in a week or so, of course. But these are all the things we've been working on, trying to get fun ways to utilize some of these pages where, things are going on. So we're going to do something with this one. We're going to put some lace on the outer edge of this one. We've got our fun fussy cut pieces, so on and so forth. So if I don't have a fussy cut, I'm going to have a little bit of edge piece on them. This one I did just glue the bottom down, so I can put a large tag in there. We've got these little guys that need a little rounding and a little bit of lace decor or pearls, cute piece of paper, so on and so forth. So today, if you haven't seen this, there is a Floral Dreamers playlist. So anything I've done with this journal kit from Ink and Page Journals, it's her Starcatcher kit that you can watch on YouTube for free. She has a gorgeous project with all of it. It's way bigger than what I'm using. I only printed a third of it, and I'm probably probably be 3 projects deep with it. So it's amazing. And I don't think I reprinted many things. So yeah, I think I did one of everything. Some on cardstock, some on paper. I don't think I did a lot of repeats. So these pages have been, I think I did a few for the first project, then did these guys that are her journal pages, and then make sure I print at least one of all of her floral, bookish, stargazing type papers. And oh my gosh, right? I'm out of this Traveler's Notebook journal, and I probably have small pieces left to make a smaller, just little like, what do you want to call it? Note bag type. Naked journal will be the next thing I do, which I'll do off at the side and just show you guys so that you know it's an Etsy. But, oh my gosh, right? So, let's start. Let's see what we do. Let's start with our tab today. We ended up last week starting where I sort of showed you that we were going to use a pretty blue envelope. And since this is a tab now, I put washi on the back just to reinforce it a little bit. We're going to cover this up. We're not going to see any of it. It's just going to be, a blue piece of paper over here. Somewhere over here, right? I'm like, somewhere over here. That's just sticking out fun, right? It's something different, right? We will do cutouts, we'll do doilies, we do something. And I saw the blue one, an old French document in blue, and I was like, well, it matches. How could I not use it for something fun? And gives us an opportunity to do a tab on this end. But to start off with, let's get this lace out of the way. I do one on this side because we had a slight print issue. And since we had a slight print issue, I wanted to cover it with some lace. Gives me some, I always hate doing this. I don't know whether to double up on it. So we have thicker. What's on the other side here? I'm sort of wondering, but I think it ruins the idea. Unless I go, no, that's not the whole, the whole point was to cover it. If I go both ways, I have nothing sticking out. I did want a little something sticking up. I bet I could do it like this, and you have this fun mesh on that side. but I really wanted it to stick out a little bit because I want a little lace sticking out. So I think I'm just cutting the mesh off. It is really great if you're putting this underneath something. That mesh helps keep it in place, and you can hide it with paper or other products. But right now, more times than not, I cut it off and I use it later. I use it in little, for layering. I put words on top of it. I do other things. So it doesn't go to waste. And it's folded where it wants to be folded or whatnot. It has some thickness in some spots, not in others. So I just put it in my little scraps up here and I use it for layering. Never goes to waste. I think this came from my grandmother's stash, my mom's mom. I am the daughter of Laurette Chandler, a vintage paper girl. We own the Design Journal and Supply Shop on Etsy. And then I have my digital site under a Jewel Design where I do my own set of digitals. I haven't done some in a while, though. I do have quite a bit. About 80 listings right now that are just my full journal kits. I have done way more. And there's a horde of fall and Christmas that'll come out soon. We'll do Christmas in July, so I'll open up my Christmas ones again. And then come August, September, or August, I guess, I open up my fall ones for you guys. And so I did do a Halloween, like a London Halloween kit last year, which was sort of fun. I wanted to make something. I remember I had a project, so I needed a kit, so I went and made one. Okay, so that sort of helps camouflage our mishap a little bit, and it gives us, of course, something to stick out. I want just a little something. We have lace here, so I feel like I want to do some beige laces, and I want to use some of our brighter 1-inch stretchy blue lace, since we're going a little brighter in spots. I will do clusters of stuff on some pages, little ruffles, little clusters of things in the blue. So it doesn't overpower, but we have little hints of things on cards and on sections. So up and down the book, there'll be blue, there'll be cream, stuff like that. Okay, anyway, not too much chit-chat today, right? Not so much chit-chat. I didn't chit-chat too much last time either, but I can't help it. Okay, so what we did was this was a full folded over invite. It wasn't really an envelope. It's really just a sleeve. And it was holding a quinceañera, beautiful quinceañera invitation that my daughter got. And of course, as you know, it's blue. She wanted the invite and of course the ribbon, but she didn't want the envelope part. And I was like, oh, well, I will take that. And then I realized it's just the right blue enough to go with this kit. So this is, let me just pull this out. We have something to help decorate this. We are going to, so what we're going to do is when it's done, it is slipped onto here. I guess I should take that part off. Let's put it on the other side. It is slipped on here and hidden the best we can. It's not going to be perfect, but there's some blue and some brown. I will try to, when we glue it in place, it'll be the last thing we do, get as close as we can, leaving a little bit more of a border out here, but it's a writing space. And then these are decorated on the cute edges, leaving that extra blue, right? And we'll find a way. I think what we're going to do is I have 2 circles. I just don't know. I'm trying to figure out which one can go underneath. So like I can either do it here, knowing that it's going to slip underneath, and see if that'll keep it closed. This one is not as thick as this one though. So that's my only worry. I could try to fold it in half and make it a very interesting tab. I don't know if that would be enough either. No, not quite. Okay, so but before we do this, we have to decide, because I feel, let me put that there. No, I did just realize I covered the outside. What I didn't do was cover the inside. I need more pieces. Oh no. I just realized, I mean, I can copy them because they're just going to be, the opposite of each other. But yeah, we have to cover the inside. I was so excited about the outside. I didn't think about the inside. Anyway, so the last thing we'll do will be gluing this down to this, because it is, what's going to keep it all in place. We're going to glue it to here, and it's going to keep our tab in place. So, isn't that a fun idea? So I think this acrylic circle that we made is going to be our closure for up here to keep it down. I just don't know if I just glue it to one side, glue it here, and just let it tuck. I wonder if it's going to be enough. If you just tuck it under. I don't know if we'll be able to, like, if it's sewn there, if it's glued, will it tuck? I how well will it tuck under? Because that's what I'm thinking. It'd probably be the best if I just did this and you would just slightly pull it up. But until we glue it down, I won't know. We'll just have to hope that whatever we do definitely doesn't require me to, ouch, glue something underneath the paper. So I might leave a slight edge of the paper at first available so that, we have that option. Right? Okay, so let's not chit-chat too much. Let's get this out of the way for the moment and hope I don't overdo it. And then we have a secondary project that's really easy. It's just a folded, like a pocket square. And we'll do that. So I realized, what do I want to do? I mean, I could cover it in this, right? So it's all writing, which feels like the best bet. So let's see what I have left. I should have scrap left over from that. Yeah, let's try that way first. I do have all these small pages and I'm thinking like, well, I've got to cut that one down anyway. So one sec. I'm looking at, I have papers left over to make that cute little last minute. So I don't want to cut the one I started with because it's the right size of everything else. But I think if we take just the corners out of here, I still have what I need for something later. So if I'm correct, it works, but I need to cut it this way so it sits here. Okay. Well, they're the same size. They should have the same feel. I really would have liked a little bit deeper, but since this one, let's see, how is this going to sit the same way? Do it nice and close. Have the same blue attempt that the other one did. Okay. So I'm doing it upside down so that when we cut this, we see this. And if we do this right, I need to do the same thing, right? Yeah. So what we really want to do, because I don't think it's going to matter. Hold on. I'm trying to see. No, I can't, huh? I was trying to see if I could find a way to do them in a way where because of the way they're facing the same way. I was trying to cut them to where I wasn't losing a lot of whatever. But there's no, without flipping it around. And if I flip around, then I get the back side. I'd have to cut it on the other side. I'd have to flip it over to do this, but I have to then cut it from the back side, not the front, because this would be the wrong direction when we're done. So I could cut this and then turn around, trace it on the back side and get what I want, I hope. I hope, right? So it needs to be this way. So if I do it, trace it on the back, then yes, I think so. Okay. Right. Back and forth, back and forth. All right. So what I was just going to do is trace it, cut it, and get this going. So what I'm going to do, so I don't spend all my time doing this with you guys, but and this is what I did to begin with. I did just simply sort of trace. Where's my pen? Someplace else. I've been taking things inside the house a lot, and I'm like, no. Either that or I left it somewhere else. Rude. I'm like, pencil. Well, that works. My mechanical pencils have been going everywhere but where they need to be. So all I did was trace this, but I did a little shorter because I knew I wanted the border concept, and even then I had some issues here. Let's try this again. And I just traced them. So if let's not do that. If I snip this here for a second, it gives me an idea of where that one is. Now, if I leave it like this, it'll be backwards. But if I do it like this, it really doesn't. No, it doesn't matter, does it? Oh, because I was trying to go this way. See, yeah, what I really want to do is cut it over here so that I'm within the curve. So I think I have to cut this one first, and then I got to figure out where. Oh, this way, pink. But see, I need that end. This part doesn't work, huh? It works on this way, but it's not going to be the right. If I trim it this way, it's going to be backwards. It will not. Or will it? On the top? Was that the right one? Oh, no, it will work. How's that flying? No, that one's wrong. I think. Eek. Alright, people. I'm having issues. Nothing new, right? No, I have it flipped around. Oh, I can't have it flipped around. Oh, yeah. I went light on the top. That's my other problem. Maybe that's my dilemma. I need light up here, dark on the bottom, so I have the wrong one in the wrong spot. So, if I flip it back upside down, yes, I have the wrong ones on the wrong side. That's half my problem right there. Ay. It works and it doesn't. I think when I do one, it takes care of the top, and when I do the other one, it takes care of the bottom. So that is my problem there. And yes, I can trace it this way, and we'd be fine. So, we're going to do this closer to the way I had it. And we are just going to cut it short here so that and I think I can keep cutting here until I get what I want. I hope. Ay. Nothing's perfect, right? Or I could go the whole length, but I like the fact we see a little bit of blue everywhere we go, so that's sort of where I'm going right now, is trying to get, you know, that one's this one, huh? It is. And that one needs to be. All right, people. I am going to pause for a second, figure this out so that we can get this going, because I am not wasting my whole time trying to figure out which ways to go. And really, these are dark corners, so if I really want you guys to write on it, I need to do it over here. And that's not going to make a big difference, because that is part of, even though I use the paper, yeah, it's fine. I got to shrink the page size down anyway for the next project. So, I want lighter pieces. I need them to be cut to fit here. So it doesn't matter which way I go. I just need to have nice cuts. 1 and 2. But do it that way, and then this one I go up here from that way. Then I just have this little curve in the corner. That works. Okay. All right, I will be right back. Okay, figured all that out. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so got to cut, and actually I ended up doing top and bottom. So all I've done is I can take a good circle out of here when I cut the paper, and I've got going. So I sheared across the top of the circle part to give us a little bit of something fun, since we did decal the middle section. Everything else is pretty clean cut, but I figured since this is sort of a writing space, I had a little more fun. And then I did the decal edge on the flats, because that's easy to do, right? And it just helped get me the right shape and size of what I needed. Or darn close, right? So I can get it nice and tight in the 2 sides and have a little blue here, and we've got some personality. Because this is going to be tied up against this side anyway, so it's all good. And we're going to ink it because, well, we can't. But this should give us plenty of writing space on the inside so we don't waste anything. We're always looking to keep, you know, decorative but useful. Ta-da. And what I'm putting on the top, on the decorative side, is very flat, so not a problem there. Now, really quickly, let's see if I can go straight. Ha. I will clean it up, of course, for the next project, but there's that. So all these pages I had left over from a bunch of things we were doing are really small. So I think we're going to have like a 3 by 7 inch, like, little notebook, which I'm really stoked about. And so, you know, like I said, we have one more probably naked journal coming out of this kit, because I'm going to use it all up. I don't want anything left over, and there's just enough space. Got a nice little circle, and that we can, you know, decorate and add as a layer to anything, because it's just simple, fun paper. So I'll put that up there. Nothing wasted. Aha! Ta-da! Doing good. Okay. Try not to waste anything, right? Thinking your way through it. Plus cutting it in a way that helps us get us through. So let's do... We should be able to get these down. I should be okay. Let's do one front and back as we go. Nice and simple. And I don't feel like fussing with it, so we are going straight to glitter glue today. Not so much the, am I on camera? Yes. Not so much the glue stick, because I just want this to stick good. It's supposed to be warm. It was warm yesterday. Not too bad yesterday. I mean, it was in our low 80s, but I meant that it was cranking up today. So it was, you know, being out quickly, getting it done. And, but I did get a little sidetracked. I went out to water the plants to make sure things were doing well, you know. My potted plants are not doing so well this year, and that's my own fault. Oh, I'm terrible. I have gotten worse. It's weird. I was always pretty good about it. I mean, I was okay about it. But, I don't know, since his passing, I've gotten not so good about watering plants and things like that. I don't know. I have a green thumb when I put the effort into it, but I don't have like this. I really do leave everything to survive on its own. It's like, oh, you are getting watered by a sprinkler? I don't know. I make sure the front yard that when we redid things that we weren't watering stuff we didn't need to, but that a couple sprinklers were going to make it to a bush. Well, it's supposed to be a crepe myrtle tree, and I'm trying to slowly grow it that way. That doesn't need to be in there. And another floral. I had a cute little corner on my walkway that had like 3 or 4 plants, and one was taking over, and the snails got a hold of it, and we went, okay, well, that's gone. And then, because that one was overtaking it, it killed another one. It just, ate up too much. I am lightly inking this, even though I know it's blue. I'm just barely putting a little bit of dark over it, just because I can. So, because the way I cut it by accident, I'm loving this sort of layer. So, we're running with it. I was like, all right, well, I cut them both that way. We're going to run with it. So now I'm only down to 1, which is pretty hardy. But even I noticed lately it's not doing so well. I put snail bait in it because the snails love it. And it was almost like they were surviving. And then I put snail bait, and now it doesn't look so good. I'm like, seriously? But everything I noticed, even though I'm watering 4 to 5 days a week, which, I mean, it's California. We're not super hot. But still, it's dried. It's almost like the weather after the winter just got really dry really fast. Even though we're not hot, I just feel like everything's dry. So I'm like, ooh, okay, not good. So I'm trying. I trimmed out a lot of the dead stuff off, trying to see if I can get it to survive and rework itself. Because it's been always a hardy plant for me. I think I have 2 others, but even they're struggling in the backyard. And one gets sun and all the water I could possibly get, like from the natural moisture and from our... Oops, I didn't put anything on this one. From the natural fog and, things like that. But it's not liking it either. So I'm sort of baffled this year. So anything light I am doing more the antique or the vintage photo. I didn't say antique, but the bluer stuff I'm using our speckled egg. Yes, if you're new to me, I'm not a huge oh my gosh ambassador, but I do have my oxides and my inks are from Tim Holtz. I have maybe, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 colors maybe. I don't have a lot. I've slowly grown. Like I got speckled now, and I have a sage, and I have a lavender. His milled lavender, his speckled. I have a sage something or other. What is it? Bundled sage. I have a pink. It's not even a shabby pink. What is that? Oh, sugar something or other. What is it? Spun sugar. There it goes. Yeah, spun sugar. Milled lavender. And then I have one of his harvest oranges, for sure. Oh, and I have a smoked gray or something like that, but I use it as a silver in the winter. Love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's one of my favorites. It's what I started off with. I did the vintage, and then I realized I did a lot of silver stuff, especially in the holidays. And I'm a snowflake girl, so blue and snowflakes for the holidays is my go-to. Before I'll do vintage Christmas. Though I enjoyed a lot of vintage Christmas a couple years ago, so you never know with me. I thought there's hair or something. And so he didn't really have silver per se, but he had a hickory smoked. I do have hair in there. Okay, I'm losing my mind. And it became my go-to as a distressed for my smoky snowflake stuff. So anytime I do anything black, white, silver, blue and silver tone, blue and white, that's that kind of time of year, I go to hit my hickory smoke. So that's what was my second one I ever owned. And then I went to I got an orange for the fall stuff. So yeah, and that was my 3 for the longest time. And then a couple years ago, for my birthday, Mom's like, what do you want? I'm like, ooh, I want these colors. So we got pink, and we got purple, and we got green. And then recently I just added the speckled blue because I was doing more and more. And so I always promote it, love how it works. This is always great, our vintage ink, but I am an oxide girl. I really do like the oxides. I think a little bit more. They are a little wetter, but I think sometimes I get more color than, than just with an ink. So, I don't know. It's working. But then again, like I got a milled lavender ink by accident. I meant to do an oxide, and I got the driest pad I've ever seen. And I'm like, what the heck? Not from Tim himself, just from, I think, Amazon or whatever. Okay, so we have that. It opens up. We'll have this glued down later. Plenty of writing space, right? It's going to be tabbed on. Then there's your front. I'm going to have to just deal. Okay, so this guy, which I did put the blue around it, we're going to put this here. Maybe we're going to let's go. Nope, I like the dark. Okay, because this is when it flips over when we first open the page. This is what you're going to see. And we're going to decorate it. I have some beauties here that I want to cluster. And I even have this cute little, again, I was using up space, or using up scraps here from something I'd cut. And I realized I had, circles and things like that left over. And so I think I even have this little guy one in the corner. So that's what, and maybe we'll put a little bit of mesh behind that one. Ooh, that's a good idea, actually. We could do a little mesh on this edge and maybe a little something clustered under him. Ooh, I like you. Okay, so that is how we're going to decorate the front, which is what I was trying to do, is find these flat areas to decorate, to use up all the ephemera that I have. I mean, I did print her jars and her flowers the full page as she suggested, and then I shrunk them. I had to do smaller ones too. So I ended up with a little bit more than I expected, but I wasn't sure how much I was going to need to get through, the folio, and then, now I've got the journal. So I haven't reprinted. I'm just going through what I've got. But I did do her full size, and then I ended up doing, I think, half page and some smaller ones because I had to fill space on the printouts and stuff like that. So when I paginate, someone's digital work to get what I need, yeah, I got to fill space. I don't like wasting any, especially not cardstock, as I'm going along. So I will be like, oh, there's a gap. Let's put a flower in there. Let's put a flower in there. But she has great setups as it is. So, okay. And this one I was able to cut, and I'm getting quite a nice, I think we're okay. Yeah. Nice matted square. Hopefully you are decorating and playing with some of your fun pieces. This is, like I said, I'm just using something that we have. It's not junk. I mean, it's not junk like junk mail, but we received an invitation, and no, it's not backwards. It feels backwards, and then I'm like, nope, if you flip it over, nope, it's not backwards. Okay, gosh, I keep worrying about that, because when we started out at first, the flaps were on the outside, and I was like, no, I think it should be on the inside. We're keeping it closed. You open it up. I think it'll be cleaner this way over here than having all of this space sort of noticeable with the tab. And I thought, plus if these are closed here, it'll help keep it together while it's opening and closing. So that's my thought. All right, so let's do a little, I don't know. Let's get a little mesh up here. I'm just sort of going to cut it and do it. Everybody's doing yard work today. I did mine yesterday, or Thursday. Let's do this. We can even gather it up a little bit, maybe. Sort of scrunch it up behind it. Right, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's get a little scrunchy, because then we're going to tuck this in here. Let's see which way we want to go. So we're going to go there. I think we should scrunch it up a little bit. I'm almost tempted to glue. Let's glue some of this together over here. And then as we're gluing it down, I can start scrunching up underneath. I like that idea. Okay. I did it right. Okay. Yeah, I put a new top on, but a new rubber top, but it's not the ones we sell. Notice it's a little loose. So I'm keeping an eye on my glue, but I was like, oh, that's not as tight as my other one. I think the ones we sell are a little tighter, and, we want to make sure nothing gets all funky. All right. I'm doing my usual lay it out, glue it up underneath, and then figure out what I need. I think we're going to keep it pretty centered because we do have this one sticking out. So we're going to glue up to about this point, and then I can do the rest of the fabric tack underneath to get our, get what we want with our little gathering of the mesh for some color. And then if I wanted to put pearls or some kind of bling or whatever on it. I don't want to go too much because we do want to be able to write on the other side pretty smoothly without too much bumps. So that's, where I'm where I am with that. So we're just going to go that far in. So I have all this loose right now so I can get what I need done. You can't sort of see. I don't feel like I'm way back. The last time I did this, I got way too close. There we go. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how far back I was. I'm like, here, you can't tell what I'm doing. So there's that. Fold it over. There we go. Good. We're on the same page. We have not goofed that up. I'm so afraid I'm going to keep, put something upside down. So, getting warmer weather, not bad. So, though I'm doing this ahead of time, where our Saturday is going to go towards the coast. We're going to do a little beach day with friends. Told my girls if they got their work done and they got their projects done, and I got my projects done for the weekend, then we have a beach day. Because the beach is supposed to be about good 20 degrees cooler. Now, one area we go to is a 50-50. The map says it's, going to be 20 degrees cooler, but I've known it to be warmer out there, so it's sort of hard to tell. But it's an old haunt, I guess as we'll call it. My mom grew up in the area. Her family actually has, I think one of her cousins have a cute little, I would call it a beach house, but a house in the area, and you can walk down the hill to the beach. A little bit of a trek, but when you're teenagers, it's no big deal, right? So she spent a lot of summers in this area, took us there for as long as I can remember. Of course, we ventured out to new places since then, but it has a cute little, like a drive-in type restaurant. At least I hope it's still there. God, I don't know. Last time we went, I was there, but that was still years ago. You get soft serve ice cream, and you walk up and you order, and it's cute. It's great. So anyway, and then we've taken Lizzie there, my youngest, number of times throughout the years. When she was younger, that was for many years. That was her birthday. She wanted to go to the beach. That was her birthday wish, right? And we haven't done it in a while. This one I don't think we've been to since we started the model of the house. I think when we remodeled the house, gonna be 8 years ago, we went. Because they were working on the house, so she was so cute. She got her first big girl bike, and that girl, training wheels. No training wheels. We don't need no stinking training wheels. No, we didn't. We got her going pretty quickly on that. It was funny. That one, yeah. My oldest took her a while. I'm putting this up here, but I think it's going to make it really interesting. And I am purposely gathering it up all silly for some dimension and some kick. There we go. That's really pretty, but I don't know if that's going to stay. Well, it might. I think if we do it just right, I think it'll just glue in there. But isn't that cute? Let's see if we can do this, actually. I don't need it to be perfect. I really don't even need it to be all down like we do with our butterflies. I just want it to sort of stick up in there. He's got that pretty blue, and I have a blue. I don't know if it's too big. I have a blue gem. I just don't know if it's too big, if it's too bright. I think I used it once or twice in the other kit, too. Or the other creation. Oh, but I love that. Oh, my gosh, guys. Sorry. It's the little things. When you least expect it, and you're just like, oh, my gosh, that came together. Because, you plan this stuff. See, I have these blue. That's not too big. I think that'd be pretty. Why not, right? It's not too much. It's soft enough that since I just happened to hit it just right, and I got that blue dot. So let's enhance that blue dot. You know me. I love enhancing what's already there. I think it makes it just that much more not natural, but yeah, it seems more natural in the design when you can just enhance something that's already there. My mother is the queen of that when it comes to doing her stickle. Oh, she can bring out the best elements in a journal card without even, with just the right placement of stickles, and it's great. So I'm like, I could work on some of the white here in the stickles to make the jar stick out some more. But then I can't, the moment I do that, I can't glue it in. Because it gets, maybe we can move on to the next piece. We could do that. Okay, let's see. If I can do this without making a huge mess. Because sometimes that first one is a little messy. So I'm just using a iridescent, let's see which one is this. This stickle is Stardust, which is fitting since we're using it in a Dreamer's Traveler's Notebook, or a TN, depending how old school you are in the journaling world. A TN or Traveler's Notebook started out definitely during the planner section and more organizing, and you know, it became a certain style, a certain way. It was very much just a plain notebook, but it was the size. So in the journaling world, we took it as a size guideline. And so like that's why it's only 8 by sort of 4 instead of a 9 by 6, but it's not tall skinny, which can be like barely 3.5, 4 inches by anywhere from 9 to 11. So, you know, things sort of vary as you go. So I just added a little bit on the jar where it's pretty white. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to enhance the white section. So it's because that's sort of where the, sort of up here, we're going to make it a little wider than it maybe needs to be. So we're going to do little bits up the jar. And I don't know if you'll be able to even tell until it dries. But I promise, it's there. So I could do the flowers, I could do all that, but I think I'll just keep to the jar, and we've got that up there, and I'm really happy. So we'll let that dry to the side for a second. I'll actually put it near. Now, if I really wanted to keep going, I have gold, and I could enhance bits of the top of the jar, or even in here in the floral. If I really wanted to make the jar sort of sparkly, leave the flowers flat, you know. See, now that's what I want to do. Well, nope, now that's what I want. I have a rose gold, but I don't know if that's what I want to put in here. I did both before, and this one I am purposely, what's the word, sort of spreading it out, because I just want it to be not so much a line. I definitely want it to be a glittery flower. I want it to be, you know, very much a golder, you know, floral. Once it dries, hopefully we still see the details of the rose itself, but if not, it's not too bad. So we have that there. And I'm debating on, let's see, let's do the leaves up here. Oh, I need to get back to the other part of the project. This is not supposed to be just decor, but hey, for once, let's see if we can finish something, right? I want to be able to, because yeah, after this, it's just me getting the work done. All right, so we've got the 2 leaves, we've got the floral down here, and things sort of happen in 3s, so I feel like we need to do a little decor work. Little something up here at the top. So we bring in your eye up from top to bottom. So you've got a little bit of decor here in the knob, you got it in the 2 leaves, and you got it in some of the bigger flower that's definitely prominent here. Just hoping we didn't lose too much of the detail by covering it all up, right? So I'm sort of spreading it out, seeing what we can do. And I'm not going all the way out, I'm not doing all this light stuff, I'm just trying to get this one spot in the middle that is going to be our new spot, right? Okay, so let's try that. So let's just safely. Okay. Ta-da. So now you sort of see a little bit of the shine. I can't tell in my light, but so we've got 1, 2, 3. We got some white here. You've got these guys, 3 flowers. Not quite 3 mesh. We don't quite have that, but we have a new piece of glitter. So I'm loving it. So, okay. So we will do that here in a little bit. But all I'm going to do is, yes, on that side is getting that glue down in there. And then I will have to figure out how I want to keep it closed, if this is going to be enough of a button to tuck under, like we do with envelopes. Keep an envelope closed. We will simply sometimes just put a round on one end. So I'm going to glue that there. So we're going to leave this over here by the fan so that it can start gluing, so that maybe before I leave, we can glue that in place. If not, you will see it, of course, in the other end. All right, let me get it in front of the fan. Oh, my messes. Oh, my messes. But not knock over. That's the fun part. You're going to say, nope. Okay, well, I think it has a breeze over here. I think there's a breeze over here. I'm trying to keep warm, too. I'm trying to keep cool here. Oh, there's my pencil. I was hiding amongst everything. Okay, so then the next thing, which I can get the journal out for, was... so that takes care of that, but then I realized we didn't have a whole lot going on back here, and I couldn't have that. So where's the lace? The lace is my indicator here. I think it's this one. Okay, so as we said, that if we had a pocket or something on one side, we might as well put something on the other side and utilize that, since we don't want to mess up too much with the writing space. So what I am going to do, though, is put lace on this side of this one. I know you can see these both, and it's really pretty, and I hate to block that, but I didn't really want to block writing space, I didn't think. And I thought, well, I want to sort of do something, but there was a certain way I wanted to go about doing it, and I don't know whether I always want to put the more scallopy end out, and leave the floral, the more stretch, the better. Not more stretch, but the more, what do you want to call it? And I can block as much as I want of this page because nothing's happening to it. Could even bunch it up if I wanted to a little bit. No one says this has to be straight on anymore. I don't keep forgetting to do that. And because we're using fabric tack, it is real easy to keep moving this around. I should have my thumb. I should have my thumb on. Ugh, I am not. I was just lucky. I didn't get all. I got the. It's not moving. That's why. We're gonna bunch it up a little bit. I just realized it'd be so much prettier if it's bunched up. No, this is the cream version or the ivory version of the blue one. So we used it on the outside. We're gonna use it in here, and I love the. I guess it's a navy blue or darker medium cobalt blue. Like one side looks dark, one side looks a little lighter. So if you want a little bit of a darker lace, this is the same one. But then we do have a navy blue that's a slightly different pattern and has that same soft, stretchy feel. So, all right, so there's that, and I'm just gonna add. I don't know if I want to add more. I like the fact that this is loose on both ends, so maybe not. I gotta remember it's there and it's great, but I filled it up, so I don't really need to put it on its side. But okay, so we scrunched that up so that we have that. So you can start to sew the paper, gives us something decor, and then there'll be sticky. There'll be something else here. But this page, this is what we're working with. Okay, so we've got something to decorate with, which we'll probably do later. Yeah, because about 41 minutes. We're gonna get this one done. Now this is this one is by chance 7 inches by 7 inches, and I'm going accordingly to the size of the paper I needed. So I realized that a 3.5 inch square, right, would fit here. So since this requires a square piece of paper, to end up with a square piece. Hold on, it's gonna be backwards for a second, but I'm trying to decide if when we're done. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Either way, I don't think I need to open it up this way. So it's easier to write on. I was going to open it up the other way. But anyway, okay, either way. So I realized I need 3.5 inches. Paper's not pretty non-directional, so it doesn't really matter. But I just liked this coloring. So this is going to be my main top square. So since I need 3.5 inches, I doubled it. So 7 by 7. But it needs to be square. Doesn't matter what size. You're going to fold it in half. Open it up. Fold it in half. And then I chose, because I said this is my square that I wanted, I met these two corners up to do a diagonal, which I did not do a great job on. So I may regret that. We'll see what happens. Okay. And the reason why we go diagonal is because we then need to reverse that fold, like any other origami ordeal, so that when we reverse the diamond, hopefully, I did an okay job, which I did not. Which I did not. It's a little temperamental. They should all line up, but you go off your cut, you go off your everything. But I'm going in here and trying to iron it out so that when you cut it in. So when we're done, you are doing this. Okay, writing space, cute piece here. Now it is a little loose, so I'm going to see when we're done, we might have to do a little something to keep it down. So something needs to keep that closed. That's the only thing I noticed. And if we're going to add one more layer, it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to have to do something to keep it down. So I may bring it up just a little bit to see if I can find a way to, right? That might work better down here, actually, because if I glue this corner down, I bet you I can then hopefully pop it open. We'll see. All right, so this is what we're going to decorate. This is what this side's going to get glued down. Pop it open. Now, she put journal cards. I got this from Purita again. I love her stuff. I can't help it. And she's just got the simplest ideas. And I'm like, yes, I can do that and tweak it. She put journal cards on the two flaps so that when you moved it in, they sort of I know it's hard to see, they overlapped each other. So one card went into one side, one card went into the other. I don't really have cards that size. So what I'm thinking is I took a 3 inch by 3 inch square. I'm going to cut it diagonal, and we're going to make pockets in these 2 spots. So we can tuck a small journal card that will still do the same thing, but not be as big and potentially, you know, what's the word? Intrusive? I guess that's the right word. I really want these corners a little tighter. I feel like everything needs to be a little better in the department of folding down. Like, I'm like, let's see if we can do a little better push, like make sure that everything's really tight, so that when we, and it's like, it sits, and then it doesn't sit. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. Maybe that'd be why it's not staying down so much, is because we just don't have tight. This is with the origami. It's not perfect. I know it doesn't line up, but it's not bad. Little inking out here and any of the coloring, and I don't think you're even going to know. So you can decide how you want to ink it, whether it helps hide any of imperfections. I'm trying to get ink and there's no ink there. Silly me. But I did want to ink the inside for the pockets before we got into it. So now that I know what I'm doing, I got an idea. I want to ink this because it's going to be the outside of that pockety area. And I want to ink this one like we would as if this was a standalone double pocket. We're going to want to, you know, enhance certain things. I debated on, so when you open it, there's a little bit of, you know, what's the word? I don't know. Ink. I have to decide if I wanted to ink this, and I may not, because maybe you want to write more than I'm providing, right? So again, we're not losing any space. You're actually gaining a little writing space and places to tuck in ephemera by creating this cute little pocket. But it's perfectly square. Fit your final piece on your page, whatever page size you need here, then double it for your width, which means you have to match your length. Real easy. Then it's folding in half the other way, and only one diagonal fold. Okay, and then you just, once it's folded point to point, then it's just turning it around so you get this. So it all hopefully lines up inside, right? Hopefully. Now, here we go. I don't want to get anything upside down. But I was going to go this way, but then I realized doing it this way might make it hard to write on that. So it's the only reason why I'm just turning it. What is that? 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So it can open up this way. And it's easy. It's flatter on both ends to write on these corners. You could write up here if you wanted to. You could write up here. You could write down here. This whole thing could be written on. This whole thing could be written on. Not that one, but you know, totally up to you. So we're just going to do 2 corners or 2 edges, right? We're going to level that. Okay. And I'm just going to go do. I just did a light blue on this one for the inking. I'm trying to go tight. Haha. Which I don't do well with. I'm trying to get glue everywhere. But this was a simple one-off piece, right? One piece of paper, whatever square you had or square you can create. And I am going in a ways so that there's room to tuck. Did I use my little ones? I think I did. Oh, wait, there's one. I think I know where the other one is. So I'm thinking something like one of these small ones would fit in here nicely. Be cute, but not, like, it doesn't get really in the way. And it goes here, and it still has that attempt, but the next one's going to cover it. So it's, you know, it doesn't get in the way. But you have a journal card there. Instead of having something flat and you really can't write on it, why not pull something out you could write on? Okay, loving that. Then the other half needs ink, and I'm going to be drawing out that. Oh, so bad. All right, I thought the window was open there for a second. Okay, we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. I know, but it's a Saturday morning video. It can be a little longer. Watch it at any time. Craft along. Hopefully, you know, these little things help, right? The other one's just utilizing the shape, the fun shape of it, and we're gonna glue it in to tab in. And this one is just a quick, fun. Now this one goes up here. It has to be the opposite, otherwise it won't work. And really, you're just gluing the flat edges, right? You're doing A and B, not C, of your triangle. If you remember your geometry or algebra. Jeez. I know my youngest is going into geometry. She has a few friends that are doing geometry over the summer. So they're going to Algebra 2 next year as a freshman. And I'm like, that boggles me, because me growing up, going into geometry freshman year was a huge deal. And I think I'm going to use this one. This is the other small one. And so that was just, that was advanced enough. And so there are some who did really good in algebra this year, their 8th grade year, and they were suggested to do just standard geometry during the summer and go into Algebra 2 their freshman year. But they're also, universities and colleges are now requiring like 4 or 5, years plus of math just to get an upper leg. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's crazy. So we can do this one here. Ta-da. So fold it. So what you're doing is they tuck behind, so you can see it tucks behind itself, right? One tucks here, and it's flat. So when you start to pull it up, this one comes first, and ta-da. See? And those are pretty. I love the light colors. I love the fact you can see and you can tell, that the journal cards are there. I'm not going to do anything with them. I don't think. If I do anything, it'd be the smidges, like, it could be something like that, but I don't think so. Because it's going to be something I want to stay sort of flat and we're trying to keep it there, I don't think I'm going to do much. Now, I could go another layer, and you can fold it either way, actually. I realize you can go top or bottom or top. However it makes it easier for you. I could be really silly and only glue down 2 sides and make it one more pocket, but we don't have that much stuff, and I want to really, it's solid, so when you pull up, you don't rip anything. So we are going to go full Nelson. So yeah, however you seem to fold it, I keep putting this far corner down first. Far right corner, I seem to keep putting down first. So I think it's just a preference to how you want to fold it, how your brain goes, which is funny. I'm left-sided, but I'm putting down the right side first. But that doesn't surprise me either. Being slightly ambidextrous, I do flip things around, so, which is good and bad, because sometimes I get myself into trouble. I know my girlfriend's, one of her daughters is left-handed, and, which is funny, because they're all right-handed, right? So, we're not all, we used to be all left-handed. Well, no, we were left-handed, and Lizzie was right-handed. But her dad, my husband, only wrote left-handed-ish. Not great, but he wrote. He wrote left-handed, but he did pretty much everything else right. I don't think he did anything else, from cutting to sports, whatever. He was right-handed, so it was very interesting. When I write left, cut right, but can precision cut left. But I used to bat. I don't think I can anymore. Bat left and right. Bowl left. Should probably golf left. Throw with my right hand, though. I don't throw with my left. So if it's grunt work or seems more power, I can do my right. If it's more precision, I do my left. Right? Okay. Right? Yes. Okay. So you can go either way. Either way. Closes. There you go. It pops up a little bit. Just not sure exactly what it's going to do. So let me cut out these 3 pieces real quick. And then we'll lay them out. And then we can say we're done. Well, maybe, huh? Oh, we really wanted to finish that. We're going to go a little over an hour today, ladies and gentlemen. I can't help myself. It's like I said, it's Saturday. Why not? So, okay, give me 1 sec. Let me fussy cut these. And then we can get this decorated since we're on a roll. Okay, cut and inked. So, I was thinking something along these lines, I guess. I didn't know exactly which ones. Or was I going to do the inside? Oh, no, that's right. Okay. Now, I was debating on... Oh, duh. Ink. That's the deal. I had a couple different things going on. And that works actually, sort of cute. I was going to decorate these a little bit so we can put a floral here. I may even cut it and do it this way. We've got this one here, and that was going on the front. See, I'm like, wait a minute, I had this thought, and that was not it. So I like the idea of this being a flat edge. I don't know if I want to just... Sometimes it's nice and you see it and it's there. Other times you're like, well, what do I want to do with that? And I feel like I want this a different way. And I want to do more of a flatter, meet with the edge type of thing. Comes from my Happy Planning sticker stuff, can't help it. So we're going to do that there. So we're going to decorate these two just a little bit. And then we'll do some lace and the book on the front cover. See? I thought, yeah, you get to see me decorate this because the next time I want to say the next time you see me with this one would be finished. All the little fussy cuts, all the little lace, all the things I was going to do would be in place. Except that I do need to do some journal cards. I realize I have a couple spots that are large. And the front cover. Now, if you didn't get to hear me rant and rave about it the first time, because that video did not make it up when I was trying to put this thing together. So I got to figure out where I'm making sure where I know not to put ink or put glue on, up to a point. I realized the front cover was beautiful and I wanted to put words on it. Some kind of encouragement to write about your dreams, write about your hopes, your wishes, right? Some kind of encouraging thing. But I thought, well, how can I possibly like know for sure like what someone's going to want or like? And I thought, man, I hate to limit it. And someone goes, well, I don't like that saying. So why would I buy the journal? So then my thought was, well, what if we made 2 or 3 toppers, all very similar in you know, inspirational, whatever, but use, you know, a magnet, and they could be interchangeable magnetic toppers that I would blend into the cover and use. But, you know, so I haven't got to that. So I don't know if that's something I'm just going to show you. I mean, it's not convoluted. You make your topper piece however you want. I probably gonna have to print some paper. All right, so those are that. Yeah, I wanted a little decoration on those so they weren't plain. And then I had this here, so I feel like maybe we'll do a little dark blue this time. What if we clustered? I don't know whether on the bottom or up the side. Maybe we slightly, so you know to grab it. We could do what we've been doing and a little bit over so we see it. This is maybe my first little spot. We could do a little lace here bunched up and we could decor it that way. What do we think? It would pop. It would definitely have some oomph here, and it would give you something to sort of grab on this corner to know to open it up. Sort of like a tap, right? Let's try that. Do like we did before, put a bunch of glue down, and then we're going to scrunch it. Try to use my fingers, but yeah, I got sidetracked with gardening this morning, and I'm surprised my hands aren't dirtier, which is bad. But I'm getting to that point where these nails are about to need to be redone, so I don't want too much, but I want enough. And it doesn't quite. I was thinking about having it stick out a little farther, huh? Let's see if we can get it out a little farther. I love the tacky fabric tack for this concept because, you know, I can shift. I wanted it to stick out a little bit more so that maybe you saw it on the edge of the page, but that's okay. We don't want to go too far out either. And then, I don't know where to cut it yet, so we'll put that there and use my proper scissors. And I think something at a rough angle, I'm going to cut it. I'm not going to, I don't want a perfect cut. I want a sort of messy cut because we are just sort of ending it. We're just ending it. We're ending the relationship. Sorry, no, they're on my kids too much. The tea, as they say, cheese and crackers. I'm not that. I'm in my mid-40s. I just hit 45. And, you know, raising an 18-and-a-half-year-old and almost 14-year-old. So it's amazing what new verbiage I'm being introduced to. Luckily, my girls are, especially my youngest, is very open, and, you know, I get to hear it all. Good, bad, and indifferent. So I goes, okay, honey, that's too much. Other times going, okay, you're you, and you're comfortable in your home, all right. So yeah, it's funny when all of a sudden I throw their terminology back at them, and I use it correctly. Lord. They go, oh! They laugh at me, or they get all shocked. They're like, how dare you? And I'm like, what? So now we have this, which I like the idea that you can grab it and open it up, right? And it does open, I think, better when this goes under and the top goes, the top is on the top, the bottom is on the bottom. Because we did flip it around, and maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to open it the same way she did, but we've turned it 90 degrees. So, and that helps with some weight, and actually it still pops up, but I think it's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to, oh, no, you do open. Okay. So we do need something. Here I was going to use that latch for something else, but maybe I can always create another one. I'm wondering if we're going to need to do that, but then, I don't like that. Okay, so how are we going to do that? I'm like, how do I want to keep this down and not have it pop open while it's, do I put a little string of some sort down? like a little tie right here. So I'm like, if so, I got to get this up quickly so I can tuck something underneath. I have my favorite gold thing. Let's see if I can get something. I don't need a lot, but we need something under here. Shoot, come on. Ugh, gonna have to re-glue terribly, but I feel like we need to do something. Oh no, right, and that came right out. Because it's... Come on, pop up. We need that to go underneath. And we need to do some serious gluing here. Yeah, we need a little something to tie it down, I guess. Didn't think we were going to have to do the tie thing. Didn't occur to me on that one. But I don't think, because of all the layers, you can't really put a, the pop socket typing we do with envelopes. It's not going to work that way. Okay, hold on. I've got to get some pressure out. I've got my dry wet one because, ugh, yeah. Okay, all right. Hurry. I feel like, hurry. I don't want you guys to leave. No, we're almost done. But why not? Okay, so we're going to do that. And then I don't know how much I want. I don't want to do too little or too big. So if I cut it, I guess I can just keep trimming it, right? So we're going to glue the other end down because we need it to do something here. But not get into the... We can get into the bottom of the... And I'm going to use... Oh, let's go the opposite direction. We're going to do it... Sorry, this is probably hard. Same spot. I am going to go a little bit into the paper. I should not be using my finger. There we go. And trim off the paper a little bit, but it's going to be tight. It really should be underneath the paper. And that would have kept it in place, which this might be temperamental. But we're just going to go straight out and cut it in half and then try to make a bow out of it. And then if it feels like the tails are too long, then it's easy for me to just, you know, cut that off. Go straight out. Wow. It is gooing beyond belief. Oh, get that pressure out. Okay, never mind. It's full. I did refill it, so I lose more than I like. Okay, so I feel like... Yeah, it's really cute. My Mary Kay lady. My Mary Kay lady always ties my orders that she drops off in this beautiful gold. So I always keep it. It's a piece of string. Piece of tulle string. So we can do a little something here, which does stick out. It's totally fine. And it's just finding the proper tails, untying it carefully, right? Nope, that didn't hold. Shoot. Okay, I did it too soon. I did it too soon. All right, not stick. All right. We can do this. I'm wasting time. So I will fix this. I will make sure it stays down. See, it just would have been nice if that was tucked under. Our problem now is just keeping this top section in place. And even though I put all that glue, for some reason, it did not hold. There's so much glue right here. I would think it'd be fine. But I keep pulling this up. It's going to get bad. But I have to get something in there. I have to get that down in some form. So we're going to keep working on it. And I mean, the only other thing I could do is put a grommet there to tie this through with all this pretty lace or all this stuff in place, which is, you know, tie a little knot, tie it around it, keep it in place, and then lets you bow it out here. If this doesn't stay, I do have one other option, right? So we'll let that sit and dry, and that'll let me, you know, hopefully tie even the loosest knot in place so that this doesn't open up every time, you know, you go to flip. And right now, because it's just there, now it wants to stay closed, right? And you know why? It looks like doing this, that one journal card is tucking into the other, and that's why it's staying closed. So when I'm flipping through pages, it's not opening up because one journal card is tucked into the other. If they're not tucked in, yeah, it's just getting weighted down, so it works. But yeah, if you happen to tuck one into the other, a journal card one into the other, it stays down beautifully. But we're still going to put a tie on it just in case. So you have that option. Nice, light, easy. Like I said, if I have to, I'll put a little grommet here, and we'll make it work that way. But I think it just needs to dry more before I can tie it. Okay, so there's that. Let's go back to the other side. really quickly before I lose you. I know it's a nice long Saturday, and I'm touching it. It's dry. Okay, beautiful. And yes, oh, I'm so glad I did that. That is so pretty. Yeah, you can just see it. You can just see just the reflection there. So we've got pretties. We've got glitter. Or not glitter. We've got, now this one. I don't think it makes a difference which one I use. Ugh, but we are going to very tightly. Now this is washi, and it might take a moment more because it is sort of a shiny gloss, not gloss, oh, sort of, it's supposed to be sort of a pet tape, but it's not tape enough, so it is more washy. It is more a little shinier, a little slicker. So I feel like we're really gonna, that's why I'm hoping the glitter glue will work. I have it tucked up as tight as I can, right, to my tab, but it's still going to hopefully just bend with the thing. Yeah, it's not gonna, that's some bright blue. It's gonna stick out a little bit. It's gonna be really easy to open. You know, it is here. Okay. And I could have left it like that. It's not a big deal. But I feel like, you know, just all we can see is a little bit of the washi, which is brown, just looks like an extension. We're going to, of course. Okay, let's actually do it. I don't know if it makes a difference. I don't know if I had one left or right. I don't think it matters. Okay. Let's get the glitter glue on this, because that way we know for sure we've got all the edges covered. Great writing space. Fun thing that we added in, tabbed in, since we wanted to see, you know, we want to see the little piece of paper, but we had to get it sewn in somehow. Oh, come on. I love the fact this is low. I think this is why sometimes I think fabric tack is easier, because you get a bigger chunk out. When right now I'm dealing with this tiny little precision, which is why I love doing the glue stick and then going back in the edges with the glitter glue, because you got the tiny little piece. I just always feel this is bumpy, but we will flatten it out. All right, let's get you flipped. There we go. Yeah, we'll go darker on the outside edge, I guess. We're gonna go really tight up against this, so we see little to no blue. There we go. There's a little bit of an angle. That's why it's out the other way. Nope. I headed this edge for a reason. Because it's, I don't know, I did a weird job cutting it. And so this seemed less obvious, I guess. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, it don't matter. It is what it is. This is not straight, and that is going to drive me insane. But I can either cover this with lace and make it less obvious. I can do all kinds of things. But all right, so you have all the space to write on now. I am debating that this might be, it's really thick, and that's the problem. It is super thick to where it is really hard to do. So this one may require grommets. I may put grommets in here and a little bit of something to tie down, because I think they're going to get in the way all the time. Otherwise, trying to open and close, see, they get in the way. So we will do little grommets here and a small light, like yarn or something. I have that cream colored gold yarn that we used for the other one to tie things in place. So we may bring that over here. It's a really gorgeous cream and gold yarn. So we'll use that here with the grommets. That'll keep it closed. That is all done. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Only an hour and 8 minutes, not too bad. So I will add the lace clusters. I will add the washi tape. I will add in the fussy cut decor on the double writing spaces. Okay, and then we have two fun spots here. We got this, like what I did here. I did the washi on this. So we're gonna do that on some of the pages. You know, and then we get to the back. We've got our corners. We've got our double. And yeah, that stays actually really well. So I don't even think I even need that after all. As long as you tuck it in. So, oh well. After all of that, we may make this short. It may just be a light something. So just in case you have a little something, and we'll see if, yeah, but even that little something doesn't stay without a bow, and I don't want to pull too tight. If you pull too tight, I don't know. There we go. I think we got it. Let it sit and see it happen. All right. So then we have this one that opens up. You got two corners. You got two pockets. Gives us a new space. We've got more lace. And, you know, so we have two things. So that. Large pocket back here. We're not as interactive in the back as we are in the front, but you know, if something else comes up, we'll figure it out. Definitely pops it open. Wow. You don't pay attention, do you? All right, so as I was talking about, putting a little magnet here, covering it with a circle of that background, and then making toppers that maybe have a couple different sayings on them, so you could flip out the toppers to what fit your mood that day. And but I would pretty much take the image here, so it'd blend right in. So you would just take the topper off, and you know, and if you didn't want the topper at all, you'd have a slight bump, but you wouldn't see the magnet. So that's my last piece to do with this, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to do the same thing. Grommets out here with more lace to tie it, or more yarn to tie it somewhat closed, so this thing doesn't pop open every second you use it. If you're not using it, it just sits really pretty on your desk and in your bag or whatever you do. It's pretty stout, so I think it's going to withstand some wear and tear in a travel bag. But yes, it definitely likes opening up. So thank you so much for coming along and joining me in this fun moments of interactive spaces where we get to enjoy, you know, old pieces of envelopes in fun shapes, and then doing something as simple as folding it down into fours and popping it open and having interesting extra writing space. So I love you all very much. Thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday or weekend watch. And we will definitely be back to either show it all off and or, you know, I'll go over the creation of what I decided to do for a topper on this one. So love you all very much. We'll talk real soon. Love you. Bye-bye.